La la la. Okay, I'm checking the. Sorry, I've forgotten my mask. I do mean to wear my mask when I'm walking around with you guys. Well, come on. Well, I have to go back to my office and get a marker. Now, ordinarily, that would be really, really annoying. But here, oh, come on. Do you guys see where I put the markers? Do you guys see where I put the markers? They're probably somewhere in plain sight. Can't do. Some people do. What's that? Some people do math with, PowerPoints or something. I just can't do that. I got to write stuff out, Here we go. All right, so I think let me try to make sure I don't get too carried away here. We have how much? I think about 10 minutes of class here. So, but this is a good opportunity for me to, tell you some general points of order. Like, you should be taking notes in here, right? That's part of the, you want to try to keep track of what we're doing. So this is, whoa, what was that? What's that noise? It's real low. This is just a car. All right, so we'll start at the that's a start. Chapter 1. Section 1. Solving equations. All right. So what is an equation? An equation is a number sentence that says expressions are equal. All right, so let's see here. What's a solution? A solution is a replacement for a variable that makes the equation a true statement. What does it mean to solve? To solve means to find all solutions to an equation. I'll write those things down again here. So an equation it's a number sentence that says expressions are equal. A solution, so by the way, solution, I like this abbreviation for solution, because sometimes I don't like to write out all the solution, so I just write SOL with like a little N, like that's just my shorthand for solution. So this is a replacement for variable that makes an equation a true statement. And what do we mean by solve? Solve means to find all solutions to the given equation. Now, I think there's already something a little bit missing in what I'm saying here because, well, let me just expand on something here. When I say expression, what do I mean by expression? So this is typically involves some variable and some arithmetic steps. Sorry, I usually try to use colors, and my color markers are at home at the moment. My apologies. See if I can find any up here, actually. Nope. Chalk, that won't help us. No. That drawer is not going to go back in. Oh, there it goes. Nope, colored chalk. Again, not helpful. Oh, that reminds me. I have been told that it's good for you to have a graphing calculator. I don't intend to force you to use a graphing calculator in here. If you want to use a scientific calculator, that's fine. Personally, I have found that the Casio. Now, if I understand, we have a way to provide you a graphing calculator if you want one, but because of the confusion of the semester, we're going to wait till things kind of sort out until like the start of next week to give them out. If you already have one, please bring it back. I was told to tell you that. But this is the calculator I've been using for about half decade. This is the Casio FX115ES, and this I found does pretty much everything I want, and they're relatively cheap. I think you can get one at Walmart for $14 or something like that, maybe less in the back to school sale. I used to tell people you could go to Radio Shack and buy one for $25 if you wanted, but now for some reason Radio Shack's out of business. Go figure. Wonder why, but. Sorry, I should not dance on the grave of Radio Shack. It's not nice. But, I mean, I do miss the Radio Shack. Because now we have the internet, right? So, an expression is something that's like floating. So, this would be an example of an expression, 3x minus 7. That, by its lonesome, is an expression. It's a variable x, right? We don't know what x is. That's the idea. Don't be like me. When I was a teenager, I gave up on algebra because I had this idea that like A, B, C had some secret values that were pre-agreed upon by other people. So I'm just like, this is dumb. Like if A is 1 and B is C and B is 2 and C is 3, then why don't we just use like 1, 2, and 3? Why are we using the A, B, C? I did not understand the philosophy of variables, right? So a variable x here could be anything, right? By the way, the reason that right there is a good reason to do what? We should not use x for multiplication anymore. What's that? Use a dot, right? So we can either write this. Alternatively, you could write, like 3 dot x would be the same, but what's that? Parentheses. Yeah, that's also good. We could write 3 parentheses x. Now, just when they're just next to each other, this is called juxtaposition. All right, but all right. So this is an expression. When does it become an equation? Is when I do something like this. Right. So here, now it's an equation. It is a sentence that says expressions. Notice the plural. Expressions are equal. Right. So here we go. This is our example. Example 1. This is an equation, right? 2 expressions are equal. And how will we solve this? What do you want to do? What's the strategy? You got an idea? Combine like terms. I like it. So like, as a general strategy, you want to try to get all the x's on one side and all the numbers on the other side, if possible, right? And what can we do? We can add You add 7 to both sides, right? So I could do it like this. Plus 7, plus 7. So this gives me what? It gives me 3x equals to, what on the other side we got what? 4x minus 9 plus 7. Well, what's minus 9 plus 7? What's that? Negative 2. So this, the right-hand side, we could write as 4x minus 2, right? Now what do we want to do? Move the 4 over? Okay, we could do that. So how about this? So I'm going to write out in words. Subtract 4x from both sides. So we have 3x minus 4x equals to 4x minus 2, parentheses, minus 4x, right? But that's why we subtracted 4x, because 4x minus 4x is what? It's 0, right? So we're just left with minus 2 on the right-hand side. So I'll write up here. So thus, we've got minus x equals to what? Negative 2, right? And then do what? You said divide by the, yeah, so we can multiply by minus 1 or divide by minus 1. Isn't that kind of funny? Multiplying by minus 1 and dividing by minus 1 are the same thing. It's a funny situation, isn't it? So this implies that x equals to 2. And there you go. Now x equals to 2 is the what? It's the solution. So we had an equation. We did allowed algebraic steps. So what are the allowed algebraic steps to manipulate? What's the situation when we're working on solving an equation? We have to do things that do what? That don't change the solution set. So one thing we can do is we can add a number to both sides. We can subtract variables from both sides. As long as we're fair, we do the same thing to both sides. We don't change the solution set. I'll do one more example and we'll be done for today. So suppose we've got 3x plus 1 equals to 3x minus 8. So this is an equation, right? We have two expressions set equal. The variable's x again. Are you guys tired of x? I can make it something else. No? Okay. So what should I do? Add 8 to both sides. I like it. So I'm going to write down here, add 8. That gives us 3x plus 9 equals to 3x, right? And then how about I subtract 3x from both sides, right? What happens when I subtract 3x from both sides? I get a 0. Yeah, I get 3x plus 9 minus 3x equals to 3x minus 3x, which tells me what? So the 3x's cancel, right? And we're just left with what? 9 equals to 0. Right. See, somebody says, I got $9,000 in my savings account. And you're like, that means you got $0. You can be happy with this? I mean, I wouldn't be happy with this. I mean, this is very troublesome, right? What does this mean? that means no solution, right? Because we have engaged in steps manipulating the equation which don't change the solution set, and we've come to an equation which clearly has no solutions, right? So that means that this equation has no solution. So therefore, these three dots mean therefore. Therefore, no solution. So the solution set in this case is called the empty set. Anyway, I'll stop there for today. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. And we'll try to do a lot more math next time. So.